about what it is doing. So we must look in our resume, in our own experience, what have we done that closely relates to this company, which, like I said, is more likely than not the reason why you got the interview. Right? So this is the amount of time. Whatever you say there, however you want to show your experience in relating to the domain or the market or the size of the company, it's up to you. But the amount of time that you will spend in talking about it is the percentile that we have, right? So 40% of the time that you have to answer that question should be about the company, its market, its size, its relative partners and stuff. And then 30% about the role. What is the JD telling you that you will do, right? So that's what it means. So when they say 40% of the company, it's not like if you start talking about, so First Bank, as we know, is one of the leading banks with over 10,000 branches across the world, and with over this, they know more likely than not, they've been working in that company for some time. So they are not looking for an history of the company, right? They are not looking for you to tell them about the company, but they're looking for you to show them that you have experience in related scope of operation. So within the banking, within the financing, within the finance industry. So that's what I mean by 40% of the company. So your answer should relate to the company, at least 40% of the entire thing about yourself that you want to say, and 30% about the role. So it's a senior manager role. You want to talk about the fact that you've done you don't even have to have done a senior manager role, but you've done a manager role that you manage a large team. So you spend 30% and then you end it with your closing statement that I'm looking forward to join First Bank as one of the leading banks in Nigeria that is doing ABC. Whatever you've learned from your YouTube, from your Google search about them, you can add it to just spice it up to make sure that, to make them know that you are not just one of the candidates that are interviewing. You really know what you're doing and you've already done your own work before coming to sit in their presence. If I answered your question, please type yes in the chat. If no, please type no. Okay, moving on. Prepare your questions. Have one or two questions based on your findings about the company, the role, the domain, or market of operation. See, you hear me talking about the company, the role, the domain, the market of operation, because that's what you want to do. So sometimes as interviewers, which are mistakes that I myself have done before, is whenever I'm going for an interview, I'm so soaked about my experience that I've not given much thought about the company, the domain, or the market operation. They need you to function in a specific context. For those of us who are business analysts, in business analysis, there's something that we call the, I lost it in my head, the core concept model. Those who are business analysts, if you've taken CPAP certification, or if you've gone through a business analysis certification training, there's something they call the core concept model. In business analysis, they talk about the value, needs, stakeholder, solution. There's something in that core concept, the sixth concept. There's one there that is called context. Context changes a lot of things. And if you were to open as business analyst, you open your bubble guide and you go and look at again, pardon me if you're not a business analyst, but I just want to use this to explain when I talk about the role, the domain, the market operation. Like, why am I so much into it? Because it's the context, right? It is the context of that role. And if you cannot speak to the context, it's very hard to get the job. So for those of us who are business analysts, you're probably familiar with this document that I'm sharing. It's the Bubble Guide version 3. Bubble Guide is the business analysis book of knowledge. It's our Bible as business analysts. If you're not a business analyst, I'm so sorry. But now we want to search in this document context. C-O-N-T-S-T. Okay. That's what we want to search. I'm probably going to get a lot of matches, but let's go. 168. So I want to go to where it was defined in this core concept model, right? We have the business analysis core concept model called the BACCM, right? And in there, it was defined what context is. BACCM solution. I'm not going to talk about every other thing. I'm just going to go to context. So in this definition, right, according to the Bubble Guide version 3, what is a context? Context is the circumstances that are influenced by and provide understanding of the change. Changes occur within a context. The context is everything relevant to the change that is within the environment. Context may include what? Attitudes, behaviors, beliefs, competitors. Now we are getting into something relevant to what we're doing. Competitors, culture, demographics, goals, government, infrastructures, languages, losses, processes, products, projects, sales, seasons, terminology, technology, weather, location. All those are context. And I usually say when somebody asks me, why do you talk a lot about context? Because the truth is, it changes everything. It changes everything. So let's look at two scenarios. You got a job, one in Dubai and one in Israel. Both are technology companies. They are now asking you in the interview, what's your hobby? The Dubai company, one of my hobby is actually, going to the beach, laying down almost naked, and munching some pig meat, and enjoying myself. It's like everything that you're saying in relation to a Dubai company is against what they stand for. It's a Muslim company. So the religious context of that place is already giving you negative marks. But if you say that to another American company, they don't care if you go and sit on the beach and tan. They don't care if you eat dog or pig meat. That's within their religion and cultural ethics. They don't care about that. So it means that context is really what defines our existence. That you can say something to one person is wrong, and you say that to another person, and it's totally okay. That's context. And that's what you must be aware of in your interview, that you are so conscious of not saying the wrong things. In Nigeria, they ask you, tell us something your old manager will say. My old manager will say that I'm a very hardworking person. I like to go all in. I help my team I help my colleagues to work on their tasks. I help people to ensure that everything is done correctly. I go above and beyond. Sometimes I'm the last person in the office. Sometimes I even come to the office in the weekend. In Nigeria, they like you like that. They like workaholic. They like people that will kill themselves for 30,000 a month. They like that will kill themselves for $100,000 a month, 100,000 a month. That's the environment. Nigeria work environment like workaholics, people that can kill themselves, that will wound themselves, that if their wife is in the hospital and she's laboring, they are in the office. That's what they like, right? But take it again and move to the West. It's different, right? What would your old manager say about you? My old manager would say that I'm a person who is very organized with your work. I ensure that I meet timeline. Timeline is not even a conversation in Nigeria. It's not a conversation in Nigeria. Timeline is non-existent, right? Exactly. Then I say, I ask kissing. In Nigeria, if you know how to kiss us and you show that you can kiss us, they like you. But here, like, nobody cares as long as you do your job, right? Nobody cares what else you do with the rest of the after work time. In Nigeria, if they ask you, can you tell us your hobby? If you go and say anything else that other than something related to the job, you most likely will get kicked out. You can't be too honest with hobby in Nigeria. You can't be too honest. But in the West, you can be very honest with your hobby. I play golf, or I play volleyball, I do this. Oh, really? Oh, I've always liked volleyball, but I don't know how the sport works. The next 20 minutes of that interview is my volleyball you'll be talking about. That's the context here. So context actually defines everything, right? And like Bumi said, you can even say you love traveling. Absolutely. And you see, like, it's so funny that in interview, my experience in interviewing in Canada, that traveling that you said that you love traveling, the next 20 minutes of that interview, where have you been to? I've been to the UK, I've been to Russia, I've been to Ukraine. Oh, you've been to Ukraine. I would say, what language do they speak there? It's interview for business analysts, though. What language do they speak there? Oh, they speak Russian. Oh, they speak Russian? I didn't know that. Only you go and ask yourself, man, is BA we are talking here, and this is where I will give you a bonus on today's session, that which in Nigeria you might not actually have that experience, but when you come to Canada, you will have experience where interviewers are derailing from the subject matter. How do you bring them back? How do you bring the conversation back? You know why it's important that you must be sensible enough to know that, hey, I'm not here to talk about my traveling, or I'm here to talk about BA, or give me work. How do you bring the conversation back? So the person asks you, oh, so they speak Russian. That's interesting. Oh, I have never been there. I don't even know what it looks like. Well, I mean, as a business analyst, one of the skills that I've learned over time is learning different things and living different culture, because it helps me in building stakeholder engagement. We have brought the conversation back to the job. There's no way the person is very stupid that they will now ask you a follow-up question that is about Ukraine anymore. They will go on with their interview question. And this is you being smart, because this is the logic. You're not the only one they're interviewing. If they have 10 questions to ask you and you got lost in nice conversations in your question 3, they will still judge you on the 10 questions. So the next person that comes and answers the 10 questions correctly, they will get hired over you. That is where you see people like, I really had a nice conversation. I thought I had the job. I thought I was getting my offer letter the next day because it was a very nice conversation. It was a nice conversation, but you never got to sell yourself for the job. It was a nice conversation. The person enjoyed talking to you. But at the end of the day, the time has gone. They did not have the chance to ask you the question they were supposed to ask you. So you as interviewer, as interviewee, with respect and smartness. So if you go back to the answer I gave, when I'm saying that, yeah, absolutely, and that's where as a senior business analyst, I travel a lot to understand different culture, because I've seen that it helps me in managing different stakeholder requests and interactions. You've turned that question, bringing it back into the subject matter, which is your role as a business analyst, and you have linked it to stakeholder engagement. Yesterday said they are the ones asking extra questions. Yes, because they're the one not looking for a job. You are the one looking for the job. They are not looking for the job. They can just switch you from now to tomorrow. The next day, they will resume their role. Will you resume a role tomorrow? No. That person might have never have traveled in their life, and don't even people in Canada with all the money and passport, some don't like to travel. So they are just fascinated with what you are sharing. But that's not what the job is about. That's not what the job is about. So even though you don't want to kill the question, but you also don't want to spend the entire interview talking about your traveling. I've seen this many times. I've been fortunate enough to interview candidates, and I've interviewed Indians, Nigerians, and so many, and I see that most of the mistake we do is because person have now asked you one question that is nice to say, and because you have so much to say, you will now use that opportunity and be creating content. No. You have to be smart. You have to be smart. Interviewing is intentional. You have to be smart. Do not get carried away. There is a reason why you are there. Okay? And one other thing to highlight on this slide is listen and be in the room during your interview. Listen and be in the room during your interview. Some of my students have asked me questions like this. Femi, what are the kind of questions I can say? I can ask when they ask me, do I have any question? And I tell them one thing. I don't need to give you a question. If you listen well enough, you should have more than 10 questions to ask at the end of your interview. So I'm sitting with HR, hiring manager, and a senior manager or VP level in First Bank. They're interviewing me for a BA. Within that conversation, they must have said so many things. Like, oh, we don't actually have a business analyst in this organization, and this is the first time we are looking to hire a BA, and this and that. Those were part of things they were saying. So when it gets to the point they ask me to ask them a question, then because I go to Google, question to ask after an interview, what is your expectation for this role? What is success for a candidate after 3 months on this role? What is the first 6-month expectation on this role? A good question, very nice. But let me ask my own question. Thank you so much. I was actually intrigued when you told me that this is the first time you're hiring BAs. How have you been doing your technological implementations before now? Those kind of questions that they will start looking at themselves. I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer. Smith, do you want to take on that question? You have wounded them. You have wounded them because you're asking questions based on revelations that they've given to you. Do you understand? When your interviewer start pushing the question to themselves, right? In some ways, in Nigeria, which is where context comes in Nigeria, they say this person, when I say this person not too much, this is kind of question this person is asking me, say, it does not come across problem. So within the culture there, There might be some setback if you ask questions that throw off people, but within the West year, right? It shows that you were listening, and it shows that you are spontaneous, and you did not come to the interview with some generic questions that is always typical that they're answering, and they start pushing into themselves. So I will tell you for a fact, Femi, that prior to now, we've been having a lot of challenges with our technology delivery, and that was one of the reasons why we thought hiring a business analyst will be a good, step forward. So yeah, I can't really tell you much about that because, to be honest, we've just been doing ad hoc, and different departments, they do their operations, and you know what I mean. So, but we're really looking for somebody to give us a structure around this. My next response. Oh, thank you so much for that answer. I mean, I can understand, the scenario, and this is based on the fact that I've also worked with organizations that are looking into building their IT department and looking for senior analysts who can help shape the delivery. Another way that you have used to sell yourself. So you picked out a weak point from them, forced them to give you an answer that is not correct, and you had that 1 minute to add a summary to pitch in again that do this. Versus tell me what 6 months looks like. Let me know. If you ask me anytime, what question should I ask? Listen. Just listen. And when I mean listen, even if you want to, you have a vacation in the next 10 minutes, you are going to run to the airport to catch a flight, be in the room. Listen. And listen to hear. And listen to assimilate, not just passive like you are mindless. Listen. Hear them. Because when you do, you would have tons of questions. There's no way. If you listen to 30 minutes or 40 minutes of your interview, you will have many questions, right? And one person says, most time my mind is always on what to say that I forgot to listen well. Don't do that. And this is coming from practice. Let me tell you something. When you are preparing for an exam, right? I remember that this is what I used in my university days, right? I was a busy guy in university. I was doing also everywhere, but I was still able to achieve some good grades. And what did I do? I made sure that I prepare very well. That in the morning of our exam, you know how it is in Nigeria. For those of us who are Nigerians here, I don't want to assume. When it's exam time and all of you are in the hall, that's why you start seeing some people. They will start trying to scroll one page to page 120 when exam is literally 15 minutes time. I try to prepare so well ahead. When it's exam time, you will never see me. You can't see me. You will not see me. If the hall that the exam is this, I'm at the back of 2 halls behind there where I can peep. Are they entering now? Are they calling them in? When I see that they are calling them in and half have gone in, that's when I'm coming. And I come, I drop my bag and enter. Why do you think I'm doing that? Because the biggest failure is coming from that last minute preparation. You have read what you want to read. The person now says, Femi, did you read this? The demand said it's going to come out. And somebody said the demand said it's going to come out. I did not read it before. Everything that you have read, wipe away, confused. You enter the hall, you've forgotten everything that you cram and the ones that you even know. So good preparation gives you the avenue to listen very well, right? Because you are calm. And one thing that I always want to tell you is that an interview is an interview. If it doesn't end well, they're not going to remove your heart. They're not going to remove your soul, right? So when you go to interview, manage expectations. Because when your heart is like, no, this job, I must get it. No, it's a do or die. Most times we fail at it because you're not your natural self. You are hyped for no reason. You are nervous. Things that you will normally explain perfectly, you start struggling with them. So you go to an interview, taking it as an interview. That's what it is. It can lead to a job and it might not lead to a job. Like deal with your heart and be balanced to go into an interview. It might lead to a job, it might not lead to a job. But you are confident that you've done your best. So because when you are in that mood where you are so anxious and nervy, it's very hard to listen. Because even before they ask questions, you are trying to remember what you read. They will not even ask you what you're trying to remember, but you are just so so nervous that you want to try to do it well, and that's when we fail. So you must manage your mind, right? Be calm. Be very, very calm. Again, it's easy for me to say if I have a job and I'm interviewing for another role, but if, like, bills are piling up, I don't know where the next money is going to come from. I know it can be nervous, but it's something that you can build on by practicing well with other people and practicing your confidence level. You really need to be confident so that you can have that peace of mind and ease of mind to listen well when you're in an interview. I see. How can you avoid obviously reading from screen during an interview, which is practicing well, right? So you have an interview on Monday. It's not Sunday evening you start. It's not Sunday afternoon you start, where you're trying to learn so much in so little time. So the more you know, the less you need to have something to read, right? The more you know, the less you need to have something to read. And when you're practicing for the interview, practice to know rather than to cram. Because when you know, even if you forget the words, you can recreate those things in your own words. But when you cram, once you forget the words, you are done. Once you forget words, you are done. You are confused. Everything throws you off. You will never get yourself again. Even the one that you know naturally now, you won't even be able to answer it. Because there was one that you truly crammed, and they now ask you, and you were so, thank God I read it, but I forgot it. It throws you off, and you might never pick up yourself in the interview to the end. So try to know as much as you can. So when you are learning, so let's say you've gone through a job description, there are some things that you really know you don't know how to do it. So instead of cramming those things, you spend more time. That is where you practice adequately, practice beforehand. You spend more time on it, that now you know why it's being done. What is the value of that particular activity? Who does it? Who consumes the output? If it's not done, what will happen? So you have built that scenario with understanding of it. Even if you don't remember the words, you will connect to the rationale in your response. And that's what the proper answer to an interview question is. You want to connect to the rationale of the question. Why are they asking me that question? I want to hire a security guard. And part of the work of the security guard will be to drive my 4 kids to school, right? And I'm asking a question. Tell me, do you have experience working with kids? This person, knowing that I said that they will have in the JD, I says that they will work with kids sometimes, has gone to read kids security guard. And they've highlighted points for kids security guard. Things like awareness, gentle coercion, right? So he has read those points and he has crammed it. But unfortunately, when they asked that question, he forgot. It means he'll be thrown off. But for the person who truly went to read in details, what is gentle coercion? How does that affect a guard handling kids? And understands that sometimes kids don't want to do what you ask them to do, but if it's for safety, you might have to apply some sort of intentional force, right? Not beating them, but intentional force. So now you understand. And the person did not remember the gentle coercing, did not remember the definition. So thank you so much for that question. In my experience as a security guard working with kids, I handle them with care. And one thing that is very important is kids can be stubborn at times, and always they want to have their own doings. But during safety issues, I have the experience at how to navigate scenarios to ensure that the appropriate force is used to ensure the children are safe while not damaging their emotions. I've forgotten the definition of gentle coercion, but because I've connected to the reason why that is even a thing, I can answer it in my own words, and I will make perfect sense to the interviewer. So that's something that you must know how to do. And it all comes down to how you are learning. Do not learn for an interview. When I say do not learn for an interview, it's in quote. Learn to know. Because when you know it, it stays with you. It becomes you. It becomes part of you. It becomes part of your arsenal. For future interviews, for future jobs you will find yourself. So truly know. So that means do not oversaddle your mind with the mind of just getting the job. Truly know. If that thing was mentioned in the JD, it means it's needed to do that job. So even if you don't get that one, you will use it in the next interview. So I'm practicing to interview for a BA role. They mentioned something called a requirement traceability matrix. I now went and Googled requirement traceability matrix. I now saw the definition. I now wrote the definition on a white piece of paper. I now put it on my screen. So I sat down in front of the table. Good morning, Femi. Good morning. So let's go to the interview. What is the requirement? Can you tell me your experience using the requirement traceability matrix? Remember, I just put definition on. Yes, yeah, thank you. So I've used the requirement traceability matrix. Requirement traceability matrix is a document that is used to trace requirements. I'm looking at the part that is used to trace the requirement to solutions and also can be used to trace to test cases. You've only defined. You've only defined. If I'm interviewing you, it's zero, big zero. I'm putting in that question, big zero. Because you're defining. But when you were learning it, with the mindset that if this thing is required on this BA role, it might be required on other BA roles. So instead of me cramming the definition, I'll go and understand it. Why? Go to YouTube. Why does a BA need to prepare a requirement traceability matrix? Now I understand the fundamental need of that aspect of the job description. So when they ask me, I don't need to read the definition. I don't need to read the definition because I've connected to the value of preparing that document. And when you connect to it, you'll be able to build scenarios to your response. You will not define. You will not read from the script because now you truly know. And like I said, when you know it now, it's not just for the interview. Moving forward, if you have another interview that they did never even ask for requirement traceability matrix, but you got the job, you are now doing the job. All of a sudden, you are in the team that you're working. And they are saying, how do we actually trace our requirements? Immediately, your brain will fetch it. Team, I think that one of the things that I can do is, once I'm done with the business requirement document, I'm going to create a requirement traceability matrix so that I can map this to this. Because you already know. You already know. So you didn't use it in interview. Now you're using it in a job. Right? So except you are one of the few people who is applying for PM today, Scrum Master tomorrow, PA next day, Agile Coach the third day, DevOps Engineer the fifth day, you shouldn't have this problem. I don't encourage it. Some people have 6 LinkedIn, waiting happen. The owner of LinkedIn have 1 LinkedIn account. The owner, the person who created LinkedIn himself, have only 1 account. Only you have 6. At any time, I advise you, stay in your lane. Your win is coming. Your job is coming. If you keep doing the right things, it might take a while to will get the job. But today, resume, Scrum Master, Agile Coach, Release Train Engineer, DevOps Engineer, ServiceNow Business Analyst, Salesforce Business Analyst, D365 Business Analyst. Don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. That alone, it's like it triples your frustration. It triples your frustration because you are doing so much. You're doing so much. It adds a lot of weight to you. Project manager role. Oh yeah, PMP. Let me start to study for PMP. You start studying 2 weeks for PMP. Oh, you are okay. I'll book the exam after 3 weeks. Somebody points out, one of my friends got jobs as a change management professional. Bam, proside. Let me say, you will just kill yourself. You will just kill yourself. When I was job hunting, I tweaked my resume only to reference specific applications. So this role wants experience with Salesforce. It wants experience with this technology. I can tweak it and put those technologies inside. I will never change the role or do upside down. No. Those who know me, I have never changed my LinkedIn. I don't have 2 LinkedIn. Again, it might sound stupid to you if you're like desperately job hunting, but I can tell you from experience and from people that I've worked with, you will do yourself more good to stay on your lane. And what I mean staying on your lane, because you're a BA, if you want to diversify, if you want to learn things that will still be relevant in where you are looking for the job. As a BA, I can go and learn change management. I did ProSci. The fact that I did ProSci, I don't have a change management resume. But I've gotten opportunities because I'm a BA that has ProSci certification. Because the organization looking for business analysts with experience in change management. I've done certifications in RPA, robotic process automation. I'm not searching for robotic process automation developer job, but I've gotten job that they are looking for RPA business analyst. It's still within the domain of what I am doing. I did not change from project manager, from BA to project manager to like some, not trying to Lean Six Sigma, process improvement. You can, it aids where you are. It gives you more, it increases your chances of seeing opportunities. But stop jumping from one place to the other. It will just kill you. You just die of this process. And I don't want you to die. I know a lot of people say, you must have 3 resumes, one for this, one for that, one for this, one for that. You say, the opportunity, because somebody call you and say, Bukola just got a PM job. Does not mean that it's only PM job that is now available. It's just your friend giving you an experience. That person is one person in the 38 million people in Canada. Right? It's not that one person, it's 38 million people. Oh, because 10 people did not get BA job. That's 10 people in 38 million. Right? In as much as you can still Google your job and there are jobs that are listed on job portal, it means they're still hiring for that. Instead of jumping from one road to the other, I would rather you spend time on understanding the trends within the industry. Take time to review new listings of BA. What are the common things that is coming out? Now, experience with large data, because we're in the world of AI and machine learning. Knowledge of generative AI. You see more often in BA now. So have you gone to even learn about generative AI? Again, you are not supposed to be the expert, but because you are looking at the industry, following trends and new things that they are requiring of the role, it gives you the ability to at least channel your energy to the right place. Right? That's what I will advise you any day to spend your time in. Oh, my friend, I've started doing PMP. Okay, I'll go and register. Until today, I've not done Salesforce certification, not because I don't even getting Salesforce job. It's a PM. I've not done PMP certification, not because I'm not even getting PMP job. So you must have a roadmap of your career. Don't. For those that are Yoruba here, Yoruba people gave one proverb. They say, "Ale kumeji." I will explain in English later. What did they say happened to Ale kumeji?
It will lose both.
He will lose both. Ale kumeji will lose both, because as Ale kumeji is chasing the rat that want to go inside the wall, you now suddenly see the one that want to go inside the bush. You leave the one that want to go inside the wall and chase the one that want to go inside the bush. As he's chasing the one that goes inside the bush, the one that wants to enter the wall has not found a hole into the wall that Ale kumeji would have just catch the rat just right next to the fence. But because Ale kumeji is chasing another one already, gives the second rat the chance to find the hole. Understand? So don't be Ale kumeji. Right? It's easy for me to say, but this has worked for myself and it has worked for other people. In subsequent sections, we can talk about how to navigate employment when you are not getting your desired role. That's a topic on its own. That, okay, I'm not getting the job, but I need the bills to be paid. What else can I do? Running a task getter is not the way forward. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. It's not like this. It's not like go here to the PM, BA, and data analyst, tomorrow, large data. No. Okay, translate. Ale kumeji is when you are chasing 2 things at the same time. On Monday morning, recruiter reach out to you. They are looking for project manager. You submit project manager resume. Tuesday, they are looking for business analyst. You submit BA resume. Wednesday, they are looking for scrum master. You submit scrum master resume. They will just call you for interview. You don't even know the job that. You don't even know which one of them. You now start going to your email. Now Google, now searching the recruiter's name. Which job did I apply with? You need to go and check your email to see the resume that you sent to that person. Again, some certain people might have worked, but again, based on how I've helped people in their career, focusing on something and building your career around, you can learn many things to support yourself, right? You can do many things, but don't go and learn that thing to now start chasing that thing. That is the Alekumeji scenario. So you can actually do PMP. I'm not against you doing PMP as a BA, right? But then you now do PMP, suddenly you become project manager. You are no longer BA. Right? And it's a very brutal market, absolutely. But do you know that winning in the brutal market is your expertise, not your scattered knowledge? In a brutal market, what wins for you is your expertise. Not that, oh, you know this, you know that, you know this, you know that, right? But so that we don't derail. Someone says adaptability is key. Of course, you adapt to the market, but don't kill yourself. Don't try to chase after so many things that it will throw you off, and it kills your mind, because when you go there and you fail, it has a way of telling on you. Like the next time you're putting in effort, you're so weak because you didn't fail because you're a failure, but you didn't really know that thing. Just because somebody shared on LinkedIn, I'm happy to say I've started a project manager with Statistics Canada. So you went to start reading about project manager, and luckily you got an interview. Now you failed the interview. You didn't fail, you failed the interview because you were really not prepared for that role. Everything you've been learning and doing for the past 6 months, 1 year is BA. So you just jumped on that track, but you don't know enough to excel in that interview. But it affects you because it's a failed interview, right? So that's why I don't put myself, right? And I just, again, like I said, it's another discussion on if you are looking for a job and it's not coming, what else can you do? How else can you navigate the market? I would rather you go for a job that is not where you want to be, but it still gives you the time to chase where you would eventually go to while keeping the bills at bay, rather than just running helter-skelter, right? But again, God will help us. It's not easy. Money is a big problem. So moving on. Absorb new learnings from the interviewer. This will allow you to deliver your final hit on your interviews. Like I was saying, like when you listen to them, you understand a lot of things surrounding the organizations, and you'll be able to ask relevant questions. Learn the act of creative questioning. Use scenario you just learned during the interview. This has been my go-to strategy. And I found out that it captivates my interviewers. So I want to ask them a question. And there are 2 interviewers in the interview, Yetunde and Olupukola. So I want to ask a question. I say, so thank you so much. It's been really nice, learning more about the company. So I want to imagine a scenario. So if I can call Yetunde, is that okay? Yes. So let's say Yetunde needs to start a new project, because in the role of the interview, Yetunde is the senior manager HR. No, so Yetunde is senior manager operations, right? So let's say Yetunde wants to start a new project, and Olubukola is CIO, Chief Information Officer, who is responsible for investing in technology. So I'm now bringing them together in a role play with smartness. So let's say Yetunde wants to start a new project, and the funding of the organization does not support that particular application. Olubukola, can you tell me how you will involve your business analyst in designing a way forward? Yetunde needs technology. CIO makes the decision about the technology they are supposed to invest in. I've brought both of them in a role play. I've given them a scenario. That's my question. Those are brilliant questions, right? It's involving. Do you know what you just did? It's involving. You brought both of them together to think. If that scenario had not happened before, you are forcing them to think. That's an interesting question. So actually, within the organization, we have what we call budget control committee. So in such situations, I have to let Yetunde know about this budget constraint, and we'll take it to the budget committee to review and see if we can actually, get some CR change requests to add more money to the funding, and see if that is possible. Okay, awesome. Now the BA is talking. The person that I interview is talking. Oh, awesome. I wanted to know that at this point in time, have you ever thought about engaging the business analyst to look at alternative solutions? Actually, we've never done that, but I think that's actually a smart idea. Do you understand? Like, you see the conversation, how interesting it looks. Do you understand? Like, if there are 20 people who came for that interview, do you know the impression you are leaving on those people? It's a crazy impression. I had a student in the UK. They were interviewing for a very senior role. She applied and she got the interview. They didn't hire her for that role. The HR called her after 2 weeks and said the hiring manager requested that he needs a junior Scrum Master. and they should hire the lady directly. No interview. The specific of the job, they need a senior scrum master who can help them undo safe implementations. They wanted to use scaled agile, large project. But because of the impression she gave the hiring manager requested that they hire another scrum master and specifically said, just hire the girl. So they just reach out to her and say, hey, the role you interview for, we can't hire you for that, but the hiring manager has requested that we hire you for this role at this salary range. Is this okay for you? I said, of course, now, instead of this 1,000, we'll give you this 1,000 because it's lesser experience, right? It's the impression that she left on the hiring manager, because the hiring manager, like, I don't want to lose this person. Even though this person does not have the years of experience I need, or may not be able to lead the large project we want, but I need this person on my team. And she's been there for, I don't know, 2+ years now. So that's a story for another day. So that's why I say, like, interviewing is intentional. It's not a play job. You have to know what you're doing. And this market is brutal. Brutal is even an understatement. Brutal is an understatement in what we have currently, especially in Canada, if you are here in Canada. Okay, moving on. I don't want to take more than 2 hours of your time. So final preparation before your interview: be composed, dress appropriately, rest well. Problem, they finish. Rest well. Don't, because you have an interview on Monday 2 o'clock, you did not sleep, you read through the night. By the time you now get to the interview, you are looking at somebody who just finished taking crack. Your eyes are red, your ears are swollen, you are looking like you are just coming from war. No, rest well. At the end of the day, it's a job. God will do it. Do your best. Rest well. Sleep when you're supposed to sleep. Eat and relax. Right? Be composed, dress appropriately. And dress appropriately, it's up to you. Within the context of the job, I don't want to just be focused on only BA roles. Within the context of your industry, you know what dressing well means, right? If it's a technology group, even if you're wearing only a shirt, wear the shirt nicely, with your button well done and your shirt looking nice. If you want to wear a suit, feel free. If you want to wear something else, just look smart and look presentable, right? And rest well is very important. Don't kill yourself. You can only do as much as you can do. If you overpush yourself, you will get a negative result. I don't know, for those who studied economics, there's something we call the law of diminishing return. For those of us who have gone through any economics class, law of diminishing return. When you keep putting an input and the output keeps reducing until it becomes negative, right? You keep doing it and at some point it becomes negative to the output. That's what rest well means, right? To explain that in a proper scenario is food. So now you are very hungry, you're so hungry, you go to the kitchen, you see one big bowl of okra soup, and now you see 10 wraps of pando yam there. You took 1 wrap. That first wrap is so satisfying. It's going perfectly well. The next one you take doesn't really, seem enticing as the first one. And as you keep taking more wraps, there's a point where you now take the 7th wrap and you're already feeling inconvenient. Your tummy is so huge and stuff like that, right? So just make sure you rest well. That's me defining law of diminishing return. So I have a question here. Speaking on rest, one recruiter posted on LinkedIn today, don't sleep like you are competing with the dead. Lord, but I agree that we need to rest. No, of course, that's a no-brainer now. Like, sleeping like you're competing with the dead means you have an interview on Monday, Friday you sleep, Saturday you sleep, Sunday you sleep. You don't need the job, obviously. At that point, you don't need the job. Nobody needs to tell you. So it's balanced, right? You prepare well, which is what we've been saying prior. You prepare adequately well, but grab the necessary rest so that you are in a balanced state of mind when you go into your interviews. So during the interview, these are just general things that anybody looking for a job should know. Be punctual, body language. Because again, if you don't prepare and you are reading something there was a lady I interviewed, I won't say her nationality, she was actually using AI for me. She had 2 screens. Funny enough, she was not even smart. She had a glass on, so I could see when she flips the gaze from the 2 screen. So, and I could see, when something's populating, like computer, when something's populating, you can see, I can't read what the thing is, but I can see that something is typing and writing downwards. So and anytime I ask her a question, she's like this. When she's answering, she's like this. Like I give her 0. And I wrote to the HR that she should not be invited to any interview. As long as the company is still hiring, they should never invite her to interview. That, like, what are you doing? So you are using AI to reply me. I'm not stupid for being here. I'm spending my 1 hour with you to discuss with you to see how you're a potential fit for this role. It was a business analysis role for a major bank, right? And they were hiring for BAs with knowledge of HR applications. But you are using AI to answer me. It's annoying. Be yourself. If you're going to get a job, you get it. If you're not going to get it, if you want to use any tool, use it before you come to me. But literally, she was gazing between two screens. And I could see that whatever she was looking was populating, right? Story for another day. So body language, maintain eye contact. Like your words go further when you can connect with the person. So I'm talking to you. Thank you so much for that question. As a business analyst with 13 years, I'm like, this is me. I'm looking at you. We're having a conversation. But can you imagine if it's other way? So as business analyst with over 13 years of experience, I know how to create this. Like I'm looking someone like it's so. Do you know it's so obvious? If you've interviewed people before, you will know it's very obvious. You don't know. You think you are so smart that you are not showing it. It's so obvious. It's too obvious that you are looking at something else. So be there, look, connect, and answer the question. And this all comes from back of good preparation because you've done what you should do. There might be questions that throw you off, that's fine, but you can connect with the person. And interview is not 100% question answered. No, it's leaving a lasting impression on your interviewers. That's what gets you the job. Not everybody who gets the job has answered all the question rightly. I can even tell you for the fact, some people who are asking the question don't know the answer to the question. That's why after you answer the question in the interview, I'll say thank you. So next question, the person does not know much about it to even add more context to what you have said or to validate what you have said. They'll say next question because they don't really know. They're not subject matter expert in that. Okay? Be honest and authentic, show enthusiasm. Show enthusiasm is a very thin line between being silly and showing enthusiasm. So when I say show enthusiasm, be lively. But that does not mean you should derail the conversation. Like be lively. Let them see the life in you. Right? If you know you are not feeling well, postpone the interview. Be lively. Nobody wants to work with somebody who is talking like they're going to die tomorrow. Be lively. Let them see the life in you. Right? And again, this is also as context within the geographical location where you're doing the interview. So if you are doing in Nigeria, you also don't want to be like, why is this person like that? Like, you know, why are you doing as if they're chasing you? Right? So you must understand the dynamics of the environment where you are within the cultural differences, right? But just make sure that you are not looking dull and sober and like what is going to end if you didn't get the job. You don't wear such look. Even if we feel that because we need the job, but we don't wear such look. So I like your skills and achievements. You know, again, your interview is the chance for you to sell yourself. That's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. You're coming to sell yourself. You're coming to show everything that you can do that would help the organization to move forward. That's why you're there. So no other person can do it better than you do. So you must highlight your key skills, your achievements, and we'll talk about some ways of highlighting achievement. Then always thank the interviewers. I usually do that a lot. Every question I say thank you. Every question they ask me. Again, it's not a standard approach. It's just an approach that I've used and it works perfectly well. Femi, can you tell me about this? Thank you so much for the question. And one thing that I do after thanking them, after thanking the question is I validate the question. And this is a smart way of showing that you understand what they're saying. Let's use a very generic example. You are interviewing for the role of a supervisor in McDonald's. McDonald's is a restaurant, right? And they're asking you a question. How do you deal with stubborn customers? That's the question. And you start your answer. Thank you so much for that question. One of the common issues within the, what do they call McDonald's? Within the, what do they call themselves? What do they fall into? What industry do they fall into? Who knows? What industry?
Fast food industry.
God bless you. Yeah. So thank you so much for that question. One of the most common things we see within the fast food industry is dealing with angry customers. Without wondering what leads to anger, a lot of customers have different things going on in their life, and sometimes they take it on our staffs. Then you now start answering. With over 15 years experience managing different fast food, I've not only been able to manage difficult customers, but I've been able to curate courses that I use to train my team members. Don't call them my sub, don't call them my junior staff, my team members. Always use the right language. That I've been able to use my team, that I've been able to use to train my team members on handling such situations, focusing on de